today I am out in the barn and I am going to talk to you about how to tack up your horse and make sure that your saddle is fitting your horse properly, as well as the bit that you put in their mouths. So this is an English saddle, and there are all types of English saddles. There's dressage saddles, there is hunter saddles, there's jumper saddles, there's event saddles. There's all types of different saddles that are out there for the English profession. This one is a jumping saddle. So we're going to go ahead and tack them up, and I'm just going to show you first off how to place your saddle on the back of the horse and just check to see if the saddle actually fits your horse fairly properly. Obviously, especially if you ride multiple horses or anything, it's not going to fit every horse exact. But there should be some pressure points in some places that you should definitely check to make sure that there would be that you can't see any places where they'll be uncomfortable. So basically, how you do that is you grab your saddle and just put the saddle on the horse's back without any blankets or any type of pads or anything like that, and just see how it fits on your horse. So let's go ahead and do that. Hi, Cheeky. Okay, so you always tack your horse up starting on the left-hand side, which is where you basically do everything. You lead him from this side, you get on this side. So when you put the saddle on, you always want to have your saddle up towards the withers and then come down and fit the saddle on the horse properly where it looks like it's the most comfortable. So for Chic, if I just lay it down his back, that is about where the saddle looks comfortable and sits well on him. You don't ever want to put a saddle on back here and push it up. That is incorrect. It may cause discomfort when you go from his tail to his withers, so always do it withers to tail. Okay, so from withers to tail. And you can see how that saddle fits Chic right now. And as you can see, it doesn't actually fit. It doesn't actually sit on the horse level-wise. It kind of sits down on his back a little bit. So if I was to put it up like that, you can kind of see how it fits him a little bit nicer and is a little bit more level. You can see. So if I'm sitting on him, it's not sitting on him properly. The other place that you need to check on them is their withers. And I don't know if you can zoom in here, but here in the wither area, you should be able to get a finger and your hand in. It should not fit him tightly. You should be able to get your hand in there at his withers, and it should not be pinching on his shoulders, and it should not be pinching his withers at all. Where, as you can see, he's got plenty of room where his withers go that will be comfortable for him. So your saddle will fit your horse when he's in shape, but if, say, he's off, like my horse was off for a couple of years and I brought him back and his muscles changed. When I went to go put the saddle back on him, it didn't fit him the same way as when he was in shape and he was jumping every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some padding under there, and we're going to see how it fits after that. So I'm going to take this off. We are going to start with the saddle pad. Same thing with the saddle pad. You always start from the shoulder and work your way down. And I make sure that it's even on both sides, so you've got the middle strip down the center of his back. This is where the girth is going to be looped through so that the saddle pad doesn't move. So I always make sure that it's right around the girth area, and I can adjust it as I put the rest of his tack on. But that's kind of where I place it, knowing him and how his saddle sits. The next one is the half pad. Again, the half pad just sits exactly over the saddle pad. And this is a styrofoam padding that you can put on, and I just kind of just set that right in there. And as you can see, it kind of already has the groove. But if you have a new one, you're going to have it contoured, and it's going to eventually gel to the shape of your saddle and the way you ride, like this one has. If you're interested in any of these pads, I will go ahead and have a link below for you to go ahead and take a look at these, because they are super beneficial when you need to adjust your saddle and make sure that it fits your horse correctly. So we will have a link below for these items. Next is my saddle. And always just make sure everything is nice and square and firm and equal on both sides. The half pad has the Velcro that you attach to the billets so that your pad doesn't slip or move while you're riding. Pretty much looks good. I always check the other side, make sure the other side looks the same as the left side of my horse. Okay, so this side I check. The other thing that's good to do too, that I always do before I put the girth on my horse, is I'll grab this pad, the saddle pad, and I'll place my fingers under here, and I'll actually lift the whole thing. And that kind of creates some space in here and gives the horse a little bit more freedom, and it kind of picks everything up so that I make sure that there are no points that are getting pinched. The girth, I actually start on the right side of the horse. The girth goes through the loop that's on the saddle pad. I put it low because I always cinch my girth up slowly until it's tight, but I always do it in increments. I don't do it all at once. And then I come to the left and I cinch it up. And like I said, I leave it loose because I tighten a little bit at a time. Make sure that everything is nice and flat. And when you feel it, you should be able to get your hand in here. In your hand, you should be able to have some space between the shoulder of the horse and the saddle. If it's tight in here, or you can't get your hand in here, or it's pressing up against his shoulder in any way, then the saddle is too tight, and you either have it up too high, the tree in your saddle might be too small. You may have to get a larger tree in your saddle. If that's the problem, you might want to try, they have small, medium, large, I think an extra large. This is a medium tree, and this fits in perfectly. I actually had a large and it was too big, and it was just way too much space in here. But just make sure you can get your hand in here. The big thing is that it's not pinching his shoulder when he's moving, because that can cause all kind of havoc on the way he moves and how he feels when he's moving. So, and as you can see on the saddle, you can see how nice and straight and level the saddle is. So that's the saddle. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate to you. I'm going to show you how I make sure that my bit is fitting correctly. I took everything off of this just so I could show you where how the bit sits in his mouth. But basically the bit you should have 2 to 3 wrinkles in his lip where the bit sits. It should fit nice and steady in his mouth, so he kind of looks like he's kind of holding it a little bit, but not really. So if it was lower, he would tell you, because he would start moving it around. So if it's like that, see, it's not fitting, it's not comfortable in his mouth. It's way too low. It's not sitting right where it's supposed to sit, where they don't have teeth. Right in there, see? Right here, they don't have any teeth. That's where the bit should be sitting. So that's kind of what you're looking for. And usually the 2 wrinkle rule is a good one for any bit, unless it's a really hard bit like a Kimberwick or something. Sometimes you would have no wrinkles. But you want to just make sure that the horse is comfortable wherever you put that bit and the type of bit that you have. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something and got some informative information out of this video. Tacking your horse up and getting the right equipment can be sometimes very tricky, and you might have to try some different things, but just stick with it. And your horse will eventually tell you if you've got the right stuff on him, especially for you and your horse. Has to fit you both. Both have to be comfortable in whatever it is that you choose. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye, Horsey people.